It's your good pal Jeremy, JerDog Danley, live from Las Vegas. It's another edition of the Bar Gig Files.
3, 2, 1, fire!
Okay, get ready for an amazing episode of the Bar Gig Files. Today we've got nostalgia, we've got legitimacy, we've got real bar road credibility, and we've got probably great stories, wisdom, and hilarious moments. Let's have a round of applause for my comedic uncle, Uncle Larry Reeb. There he is.
Hey, JerDog. That's a lot of pressure on me, but that's okay. I'm used to it.
You should be used to it. You know, we just hung out last week at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club in Las Vegas.
That's my great gig, best gig of the year.
That's your best gig of the year?
Yeah, oh yeah. That's the best gig in America.
It's an amazing club. What else separates Brad Garrett's from even, say, the second best gig of the year?
Money. He pays me great.
Yeah.
And you're in Vegas in a really nice hotel. And, you're there all week, just one show a night. The green room is great. It's got a bathroom. They got an old a thing that used to be an old drugstore with drawers for medicine. It's all full of candy.
Nice.
They got booze, soda, whatever you want. It's just really great gig.
It's what we all, when we were thinking about becoming comics.
The staff is great. From Brad to Cindy and then Zach and Ed and Sarah. They're really all great people.
Yeah, it's what we imagine when you think about, oh, someday when I'm a comedian, it's what you imagine every gig is.
It's real showbiz.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And then it's back to the clubs, the bars.
Yeah. And I remember, I think it was one of the very first times that I opened for you was Peoria, Illinois, and this was years ago, though. Years ago.
We did that old theater.
Yes, that's right.
It was haunted.
Yes.
Did you know it was haunted?
I did not know. We might have talked about it then. I don't remember that. I remember you coming back from Las Vegas, and you're like, "Yeah, back to reality."
Yep, that's how that's the way it works.
Yeah.
No, that place, but I was with the owner at the bar, and he's telling me it's haunted, and it was just me and the owner. No one else was there. All of a sudden, the stage lights came on. And I thought, reason. Oh, is there somebody prank? He goes, no, I'm the only one here.
Wow.
So I don't.
They just popped on.
Yep.
And who knows? That was that weekend that we were working together, or was that
No, it was that weekend.
It was that weekend. Yeah.
You must allow. It was after the show.
Yeah. What the first time I saw you was on HBO on a Rodney Dangerfield special.
Yeah.
And I was a kid, and so I've actually been, I didn't know if you know this, but I've been like a fan for a long time. And then when I was 19 years old and I was finally able and old enough to get into the comedy club, the very first live stand-up comedy show that I saw at the Des Moines Funny Bone was you headlining that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to hang with Rodney. We were at the bar at the Tropicana, and he lights a joint at the bar.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are you doing? He goes, hey, I'm a big draw. When you're a big draw, you can sleep with the boss's daughter. and he'll ask you how it was. That's Rodney, the best.
Did you work with him a lot?
Well, I worked after we shot the special. Me and John Fox worked at his club for 2 weeks, and he was headlining at Valley, so we got to hang out with him.
Oh, okay.
We would meet him and go eat or something. Well, in fact, that was Super Bowl weekend. We watched the Super Bowl with Rodney in '89, and it was the greatest day. I'm sitting in a booth with Rodney, and right in the other booth was Willie Mays, and I was a huge Willie Mays fan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So that was this Super Bowl. I got to watch with Brad Garrett. So he had a little.
Oh, cool.
He had a little party at his club, and so we watched the Super Bowl with him. It was great.
Yeah, in Las Vegas. Nice. What did that feel like in those days in the 80s? And comedy was huge. HBO was new, kind of, like relatively new. And you're going on that stage in a comedy club knowing that it's not hundreds that are watching, it's millions.
Yeah.
This is before social media and viral videos.
Right.
When else did comedians at that point have an opportunity to be seen in front of millions, unless it was Ed Sullivan or Johnny Carson?
Yeah, that was
a late night comedy club environment. This is the first time.
It was the first. No, it was huge. That was a huge deal. Everybody was trying to get on that. So and a lot of big people. Every show he did, there was big stars came out. The first one he did was Kennison, Seinfeld, Roseanne Barr. Then the next one was he had Dice Clay and Bill Hicks and Lenny Clark, and then I was on the third with Foxworthy and Tim Allen got big,
Right.
So everyone did. I think he did one more after that. I don't know who, but he did 4, I think. I was on. But that was a huge deal to get on there. And the reason he liked John Fox, and he asked him if he knew any other guys, and Fox recommended me. So he called me up and he said, "Send a tape to Rodney's house." And so I sent a tape to his house, and he watched it, and and he liked it, and that's how I got on. Yeah.
Nice.
And he called me, and I thought someone was pranking me because I can't. But he, the voice, And he talked like an old. I dig you, baby. I love you, daddy. Oh, you're cool, man. I dig you. I'm like, who the hell is it? It was Rodney. It was wild.
How did you get a tape in those days? I mean, they didn't even really have those over-the-shoulder video cameras back then, or did they?
Yeah, there was video cameras for VH. Yeah.
VHS.
It was VHS. Yeah.
Yeah. Because now
they had the camera where you put the VHS right in there. I think
the tape was actually in the camera.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I happened to have, had one. And I'd done some other stuff in, like 87. They did Showtime Comedy Club Network. I don't know if you remember that.
Yep.
But he went to all different comedy clubs all over America. And he would call them and say, "Get your 8 best guys." And then he taped them. And then he put it on Showtime like every Friday. I think a Friday or Saturday. And I was on, he filmed me a couple of those, and he picked me for the All-Star show. They did an All-Star show in like 88, and I did that. With Rose and, who was Rose O'Donnell was on that one, actually.
Yeah, so many came out of the 80s was like the perfect time for stand-up comedy.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s.
Late 80s,
huge. 90s. Every town had. Kalamazoo, Michigan had 3 comedy clubs.
Yep.
How crazy it was.
Yeah, I think I did one of them on the very tail end of the late 90s.
Yeah.
You know, what's harder now than it was in the 80s?
Probably getting gigs.
Yeah.
There's too many comedians,
Yeah.
you know. And then I'm old. Not all clubs want to book old guys. They want to go younger. So
Yeah. Well, you're like a comic.
yeah.
That's
But
how I
that-
always thought of Dangerfield as well.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like a comics.
Well, the other thing that's changed is this: the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
People get big followings on that, and they pack the clubs, but they're not really comedians.
Yeah, I asked you earlier how it felt doing where you're going on stage knowing millions of people are watching. Like, how does it feel right now doing this interview where there's probably going to be at least 3 people watching?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing. You got to get something hooks, and you get millions of it goes viral.
Right.
Mine's
But that
never
doesn't
went
mean you can
viral.
get it done on stage. Like, you go into a bar, you go into a comedy club, someone like Uncle Larry Reeb, who's seen it all, done it all. And I saw you last week in Brad Garrett's, and I've heard some of those bits before, but it was a lot new. Your materials always seems fresh. I didn't even really hear a whole lot of that's a tip from your Uncle Lair or anything.
Right.
It's, and and the bits that you do, you have fresh ways of repeating them with where you're doing the pelvic thrust with the sports
Right.
coat, and you milk the shit out of that bit. So you keep it fresh. I don't think of you as like an old guy in comedy. I think of you as someone who can get up there and get it done, like transcend age demographics.
Thank you.
I saw people at Brad Garrett's laughing their asses off of all ages.
Oh yeah. Well, I still get young people liking me, but once you get in a certain category, people just think, oh, he's old. And the problem is, there's old guys that have been doing the same acts for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And they do references from 30, 40 years ago.
O.J. Simpson jokes.
O.J., Harry Carey, that type of stuff.
Yeah. John Wayne Bobbitt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's still people doing it.
Yeah.
I know a guy who's still doing a bit from, it was a popular thing in the 70s. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
And they're
any
still
young
doing
people don't even know what you're talking about. So I try to get rid of anything and try to do new and try not to do any real old references.
Yeah, I'm the same way. After a while, you kind of even get tired of your own materials. Like some of the guys that have been doing the same bits for decades. I'm like, how do you do it? Like, you got to change it up just for your own entertainment, your own mental health.
The only fun is when you get new stuff. To me, it's when you got some new stuff. That's the fun part.
Yep. That's the big high, I think. Do you still, after all these years, do you still get that adrenaline spike before you go on stage or after you do a new joke that works really well and lands?
Yeah. Especially like in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's before you go on. Yeah, and I always, when I get a new joke, that's always the greatest. When the first new joke works, it's exciting.
Yeah. It's a rush.
It is,
yeah. I loved hanging out afterwards too there at the bar, and Tracy was hanging out. We had the feature act was there. We had Bill,
Jim Flanagan, and
yep, Jim Flanagan was there, and you were telling stories about Nick's in Boston.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's what I love about comics. You've been there. You started in 79, correct?
77.
77.
Going on 50 years next year.
Yeah, so that's like the entire time that stand-up comedy has been popular, really.
Right.
There was stand-up before that, but it's usually like the stand-up was opening for the band, or
There were,
maybe
the only
if you were-
comedy clubs when I started was L.A. and New York, the Improv in New York, the Comedy Store in L.A., and Chicago had the Comedy Room and Comedy Cottage.
Yeah, you've seen the entire evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they started opening in the Midwest, like Mark Ridley started opening the Castle in about '79, and then Cleveland started, and there was a whole Giggles, and then the Punchline started opening in the South, and it just exploded.
It just exploded, and you were there for all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even MC when I first went on her. I was headlining her, featuring right away on the.
You went straight to headlining or featuring.
Right.
Probably depending on who else was on the show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when they bring in LA. The big thing back then was Make Me Laugh.
The game
the
show?
original.
Right.
It was on in the like 78, 77, 78. And then those guys who did that became the big headliners when in the Midwest when they started opening the clubs. They'd bring them in. Kip Adada and Bruce Baum.
When I showed you guys the book, and then Tracy goes, I should be in that book. I've done more bar gigs than anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, there's probably a ton of those one-nighter out in the middle of nowhere bar gigs where you're almost like ambushing them with the comedy.
Oh yeah. Well, I worked with her. Yeah, I worked with her early 80s, probably 83 or 4.
Oh, wow.
She's been around a long time. She's funny too. She does a great job.
Yeah.
She don't travel much anymore. I think she sticks around
Vegas. Yep. That's what I like to do. Now I did 20 years, and you're still at it, man.
Yeah.
20 years, at least 1,000 miles a week every week. For 20 years.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest difference about performing in a true comedy club versus a bar show?
Well, there's in a bar show, there's always people who really don't even maybe they don't like comedy or they don't even know what it is. We're a comedy club, they come to see, Yeah. Sometimes it's just regulars.
Yeah.
That, In fact, I was doing one of your gigs. It was the first time. It was like in a biker bar in Wisconsin. And I told the opener, I go, be ready whenever it's the first time. There's gonna be a jerk. There's gonna be an ass. He goes, yeah, okay, yeah. So he goes up to test the mic before the show. He goes, okay, about 10 minutes we're gonna start. If you want to get a drink, go smoke. And some guy in the back, that ain't funny. Thought you was a comedian. He comes off. He's like, "What the hell?" I told him, there he is. That's the guy.
He's just giving
the pre-announcement.
Right. The announcement.
And then, of course, he sat right in the front and heckled that guy the whole show. And then I went the same thing, but I know I don't mind that. I know how to. I just made fun of him. And
yeah. You seem to get off on it.
Yeah, that don't bother me. So that's the other thing. You get a. There's always when you're first time. There's always a regular who is the funny guy at the bar. So he thinks he's funnier than you. So he's gonna start. That's usually the difference.
Yeah.
I'm equipped for that, so don't bother me.
No, you almost seem to look for it. Even at the club last week, there wasn't a lot of heckling going on. It's a very well-ran establishment. But you were finding people, you didn't even like their facial expression. And you're like,
yeah.
Just targeted him right there in front of everybody. Like they'd have their arms crossed. What are you sitting there with your arms crossed? Let's just go to the comedy club and stare at the comedian.
Right. Well, that's what I do. People always before like, you gonna pick on me? Not if you laugh. If
No,
you're
right.
laughing, my buddy. If you're just staring at me, then I'm gonna make comments.
Yeah. All right, man. Hey, well, I appreciate you doing this, Lair.
Thanks, JerDog.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Like, I love hearing those old stories from the 80s. That's such a magical time. That's when I grew up watching stand up. And it really is cool to, I was a Rodney Dangerfield fan when I was growing up. That's why I watched those specials. And then that led to me seeing you when I was like 12. So it's really cool now to hang with you and be able to work with you. And so I appreciate
I
you
watched
doing this,
Rodney with my dad on Ed Sullivan when I was a little kid, like 7 or 8. So when I got to work with him, it was unbelievable. I was like speechless that I was even hanging out with him. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And then you hung out with so many of those from those days. Yeah, we could go on and on there. So
we could do it another day. It's fun.
We will. I'll have you on again, and look for Uncle Larry's on the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour. He's in the comic book America's Best Bar Comics. And
I'm looking for May gigs. Anybody got a May gig?
He's looking for May gigs. Get him booked in your club, get him booked at your bar. I'm gonna get you back out on there in the tour there. Cool. And I hope to see you again in Vegas soon, my friend.
Hope so. Oh, they already booked me back, but it won't be till April next year.
Oh, April 27?
April 5th through 11 next year. I'll be back there.
All right, man. We'll see you then.
11. All right. Thanks, Jared.
Let's hear it for Uncle Larry. Round of applause.